What's up, everybody? And guys, I don't even know where I am anymore. But it's midnight yet again, and you know what that means. New Doctor Who! This week, it's Dot and Bubble, an idea Russell T Davies has allegedly had since 2010. That's interesting. I must confess, my friends, this is the one episode of the season I have been looking forward to the least. And I don't really know why. I don't really know what it is about it. Rogue is next week. That one looks pretty fun and has new writers, which is always awesome. Last week, as you know, was 73 Yards, and that episode was a masterpiece. So maybe it's just a case of being stuck in a weird part of the season. So far though, season 1 has not let me down, so hopefully Dot and Bubble will continue the trend. It's kind of impossible for it to be as good as last week, so don't worry, I'm not going to be judging it based on that. I, as always, judge episodes on what they're trying to do rather than an idealized version of what they could do, and this one seems to be trying to be a morbid comedy. Now of course I may be completely wrong because I haven't watched the episode, but given the Next Time trailer, that's the vibe I got. And speaking of which, that Next Time trailer was pretty damn good. It looks funny and brutal, and the slug monsters certainly look way better in motion than they did when they were just filming. I mean, obviously it's a TV show, but still. So that's where I'm at, relatively low expectations, although it still looks good. I don't really know much about this one, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of surprises. As always, my live reaction to the latest episode will be going up shortly to the channel members, and I can't wait to speak to you guys about this one. And additionally, thank you for 15,000 subscribers! We did it! If you didn't know, this was my goal for the end of the year, and we already hit it. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have given me. Pretty much since the channel started. You all are the best community in the world. And speaking of, if you want to be included in the next community reaction video, leave your thoughts in the comments below. These so far have been my favorite part of the new season. Just hearing what people have to say, whether it be positive, negative, long comment, short, multiple. I appreciate every single one, and every single one of you who leave a like on the video, comment, or show love. Oh, and I almost forgot the bingo card. Here was my card, and here are all the updates. Slowly but surely we are ticking through them. Only one more to go for me to get a bingo, and I think that's it. That's enough preamble. I don't even know how I got here. I'm just gonna watch the episode. Bye bye. Yep, it was good. Jesus Christ, what an episode, and what a moment at the end. But can I just say, first and foremost, before we get into anything, that was fucking hilarious. I don't think many people are going to appreciate just how funny this episode is, because goddamn, I was definitely on the money when I said that this is a morbid comedy, because every single thing about this episode is fucked up, especially this awful main protagonist. Jesus Christ, she is insufferable. Okay, I'll step back a bit. What did I think of the episode? Overall, I would say that despite not being as good as last week, it was impossible for it to be as good as last week. This episode is a very good, very unique, very daring, and very funny Doctor Who adventure. It really does remind me of something that you might see in the Graham Williams era of the original show, because it does have those really weird, wacky, vibrant, bright colors, and also the very abrupt shifts in tone, which, goddamn, those slug monsters are horrific. The effect is so good of them eating the people. Every time someone got eaten, I can't lie, I laughed. And I know there are going to be some people who are like, oh, it's not meant to be funny. This is fucking meant to be funny. And it is funny. Ricky September, this fucking guy, I thought he was going to be insufferable. Somehow he turned out to be the only real one in this whole colony, and he died. He got backstabbed. I think the only problem, my only complaint, is the one shot where it says population 0 on the homeworld. That's my only complaint, because there's a whole story there. And I really want to know what happens. And they brought it up. And if they didn't bring it up, I would be perfectly fine with the homeworld either having all been killed maybe off screen, or potentially just leaving them for dead because they don't give a fuck about them. But the fact that we do see the homeworld in ruins and everyone dead, it just begs the question, how'd they all die? So if I am correct, the slugs were generated probably by the artificial intelligence, the dots, to systematically kill every single person in fine time because they're awful. An artificial intelligence gaining sentience, it decides that everyone that it's obeying is awful and then decides to kill them with these massive horrific bug creatures. In a way, it kind of mirrors Space Babies. I wonder if this is taking place in the same time period. I feel like this is an episode also similar to Space Babies where it might not work for some people, but I'm just gonna say it right now, this one definitely worked for me. God damn. I was really invested, it was really tense, it was really funny, and it was freaky as hell. It's such good world building, the whole thing. I mean, you forget that this is something they just invented for this one episode. It's a whole world, and I feel like I can't go any longer without mentioning it. That damn ending! Holy shit. So I knew that Doctor Who was going to be touching on race because they'd said in an interview, WHAAAT said quite a long time ago now, like a year ago, that they were going to touch upon it. And I'm not going to lie, I thought they're going to fumble it so bad. I kind of assumed that it would be in next week's episode because they're going back in time. But I think it's even better to go all the way into the future and see it there, because I think this is the best handling of the issue of racism in the show. I think it's, how do I say this? It's so aware of all the cultural, historical context surrounding, but it's so aware, and yet it cuts down to the core essential belief as to why it's so stupid. I think when talking about racism, it can be very easy to just, you know, punch the racist like they do in Thin Ice. I personally think that's just a really lazy way to approach the issue. Yeah, the moment is satisfying, but if you really look at it and unpack it, that isn't how those situations are gonna go down in real life most of the time. I'm just saying, we all know it. Most of the time, in real life, when situations happen, this is how they happen. And of course, you know, it's a futuristic science fiction world, and yet it cuts down to the absurdity of racism so poignantly. And every single thing about the society is so surface level and obnoxious. You kind of can't blame the AI for wanting to kill them. A lot of people I saw were like, oh, eye roll, it's gonna be commentary on social media. I mean, they're not wrong, but also I think it just takes it a step above. I feel with each episode, my faith in this new era gets solidified more and more, because goddamn was this good. So well written and so well performed by WHAAAT. That moment, fucking incredible. The soundtrack, can I give a shout out to Murray Gold? Will this be a hot take? I think this might be his best soundtrack since coming back. It was epic, it was clashy, it was emotional, just A1 on all cylinders. I feel like this episode is gonna be really rewatchable, which is something that I've really enjoyed so far about all of the episodes of this era. Probably minus the giggle because of its ending, but then again, the rest of the episode of the giggle is so goddamn good. I feel like this era is really fun to just watch, and then the next day you watch it again, and then maybe next week you watch it again, and you just find yourself watching these same episodes again and again and again, which is how I enjoy watching Doctor Who. And this is one which I'm gonna probably watch again right after recording this video. Holy shit. It is so damn funny. Okay. Something which I am surprised about is actually how much the Doctor and Ruby are in the episode. And I know that they are filming on the little screens, but outside of Ricky September, there is only really one character in the episode until the very end. So it definitely works in the story. In fact, if I didn't know that they'd shot this in the same bubble as 73 Yards, I wouldn't have even raised it. This definitely isn't a Doctor-like story. It's definitely not a companion-like story. It's just centered around this horrific character, which in the previews I was not liking, and I was wondering, I was like, oh my god, am I gonna like this episode? I don't really like this main character who they're all hinging it on. Thank god I wasn't supposed to like her. What expert social commentary, you know what I mean? So many other people, when trying to tackle this idea, would flop so hard and come off as lecturing or overbearing. There is no lecture here. You just see it with your own eyes. Damn, what an ending. I must say, as a small criticism, little bit of an abrupt ending. I do wish there was just a tiny little bit more explanation again as to what happened on the home world. I perfectly understand everything that happened here, but on the home world, I feel like if everyone died in the home world, surely there are far more people on the home world. If they're already dead and they died that fast, how did these people even survive that long? Presumably the slugs came in like a week or two ago. So if they're that slow at killing probably like 25,000 people? How many people are there in Fine Time? I assume not more than 1 million max, and even then that seems to be pushing it. While editing, I'll check and I'll post it on screen. But either way, it took them that long to go through that many people. How'd they already do it on Homeworld? That shot of the Homeworld though is really cool. I mean, Ricky September, man, that guy did a goddamn good job. He was a fucking hero, and he got killed for it, betrayed by this horrible woman. God, she is so good. The actress, I don't know the actress's name, I'm sorry to say. I know, they were talking about it all the time, I forgot. But the actress who's playing the protagonist is so goddamn unlikable. She is so good. I mean, the physical performance is so good, with the stumbling around everywhere and the getting dragged along with the running. They did a really good job at portraying that this character is so stupid they can't even fucking walk. Everyone in the town is stupid. That guy who's like, we don't have titles, but I'd elect myself as leader. What a dick. Every single one of them is so terrible. Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson as well. She was really good in this episode. She didn't really have a lot to do, but I'm just really connected with this cast already. I'm really connected with this season. I genuinely am really loving it. And yes, the episode does have a few problems. As I said, maybe could have done with 2 extra minutes just at the end. In that final scene, there were maybe a few too many close-ups. Shigegawa, if you really want to get nitpicky. I mean, I can imagine people have been criticizing the close-ups in this era quite a bit so far, and there are a lot of close-ups in this episode again. You know, it's not really stuff I take issue with, but I can understand certain criticisms. Something else, oh, I almost forgot about this. Susan Twist finally acknowledged in just an incredibly funny scene. If you didn't get it before, you'll definitely get it now. God damn, that shit was funny. Oh, and also, I got a message from my friend who said that in last week's episode, there was a background thing in 73 Yards that was saying something in binary. So it was in the background in Ruby Sunday's apartment when she's looking over at the lady, looking down at the lady. In the background there's like this hologram thing flashing around. He said it was binary code for the painting will trick you. This is what he said. I don't know if that's true, but what I do know is true is that in next week's episode, which looks fucking brilliant by the way, Susan Twist is playing the portrait, aka a painting. Maybe it'll be a talking painting, maybe it'll be like a painting in a spaceship, because you know, there is definitely a spaceship going on in that episode. Talking painting, who knows? Either way, it might lie to you. So there's that. What an episode. Wow, I can't wait to get this one out. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. I imagine this might be a divisive episode, similarly to Space Baby. Some people might not connect with this one that much. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. And I can't wait for next week too. Rogue looks really goddamn good. I remember when the teasers were coming out, I was like, we've got a new writer coming in, 2 new writers. But the episode looks just okay. But now after seeing footage and after reading synopses and seeing all the cast and stuff like that, count me in. Hell yeah. So overall, I'm going to give this episode just an initial rating. Keep in mind, these are all first impressions, all subject to change as the week progresses. I'm going to give this episode a solid 7 out of 10. But what did you think? Leave it in the comment section below. Hopefully this week's community reaction will be able to be a bit longer than last week's. I've been working so hard on the channel, you guys. You don't even know. And if you want to help support the channel, if you want to show love, you can click the like button, you can click the subscribe button. If you want to go above and beyond, you can click the join button to gain access to all of my reactions to the latest episodes and the Discord server. Speaking of which, a massive thank you to the members. As always, you keep the show going. And a huge shout out to the king, Kyle Reese. This bedroom sucks. It's not even my bedroom. Like, I legit don't even know how I got here. Like, I just woke up, I'm in a fucking haunted house. Oh, hey, buddy.